Skyblock has been getting hypixel network many players, and Dungeons Update, one of the biggest and the most beloved update by the community, has been good for many things, like money making, getting access to the best gear in the game, or just maxing it out to show that you are an endgame player. Whatever the reason might be for grinding dungeons, it has become one of the most important skills in the game. But today, after lots of research and playing lots of Skyblock, something has made me to question. Dungeons is great, don't get me wrong, but not everyone wants to progress through the path of dungeons. Skyblock is a MMO, right? What's most MMOs are about? They're about making your own path, grinding for what you want to do. But that is not the case for Skyblock. If you want to progress through the game, you are mandated to do dungeons at one point of your career. For someone like me who does not like the dungeons, this really sucks. And everyone has different points of view. That's why MMOs have ability to choose your own path. Right now, the progression path suggests that we go from young dragon armor to strong dragon armor to superior outside and sometimes inside of dungeons, maxed out shadow assassin armor, out inside of dungeons, storms and necron armor both inside and outside of dungeons, and then finally comes the most powerful armor in the game, diamond armor, which is valued at around 1 billion coins to completely max out. Diamond armor is a mining set, but if you want to progress through the path of mining, you want to get as good as you can get in mining and call yourself a endgame mining player. Right now, if you are playing Skyblock, this is the only path you progress through. Even for weapons like Hyperion and Valkyrie, which are the best weapons in the game, they are not obtainable outside of dungeons, and there is not any equivalent weapon to these. Let's say Hyperion and Valkyrie are for the people who wants to progress through the path of dungeons. But Giant Sword, the best melee weapon outside of dungeons, is obtained in dungeons, and there is not any equivalent of that which can be obtained outside of dungeons. Simply, what I'm trying to say is that there should be many paths to progress that a person chooses, and every path should have equivalent stuff. But if a path is better, it has better stuff, then the person is going to have to do that path. I'm not saying that dungeons should be removed, but every skill should be revisited and given ability to progress through its own path. It's going to take long, but skills like forging and fishing don't really need an update like this, because they don't really make sense for money making and nobody finds them fun. Right now, we have somewhat possibility to progress through mining. Not fully, but yeah, a little bit ability to progress through mining. Look, mining has really less possibility and it does not make sense, but still I'll tell the mining progression. We can go from goblin armor to glassite armor, which makes sense, but then comes nonsense part. Sorrow armor, which can be obtained when you have necron armor, which and we also need giant sword. These both are obtained in the dungeons, so it does not make sense. And even for grinding for diamond armor, you need to do crystal nucleuses, and while doing crystal nucleuses, we need necron armor, because we have to kill bosses and some mobs, which we need to deal enough damage. And yeah, that's why I'm not saying that it makes completely sense, but if there was an easier way to obtain some armor which are equivalent to Necron, then you could have grinded for Sorrow and then go to Diamond armor. Only thing I'm saying, if someone does not want to do dungeons, despite the fact it is fun, it makes money, and it is very less tedious than combat and mining, then why is the player being forced to do dungeons? With another update on the horizon, I've managed to find things like Crimson Essence, new weapons and armor which are quite equivalent to the dungeon items, and even better than dungeon items. This might make it possible to progress through the path of combat, but when it is not absolutely endgame. And seeing that how less endgame stuff we have seen in the past few months, this is most likely going to be an endgame update. But if it is not, kudos to Hypixel. After you have watched this whole video, you might think that I know a lot about this topic, and you'll think that I'm talking some sensible stuff. Or you'll think that I'm an idiot who does not know anything about MMOs and Skyblock in specific, and I'm speaking anything. If you are thinking this after watching this video, I first of all will say humbly sorry to you, and you are free to go at my Discord and Reddit, and or even comment on this video and smack talk me. But this is my personal opinion on progression paths and how can they be better on Hypixel Skyblock. I don't know if this is how Skyblock was meant to be. If it was this if it was meant to be like this, it's completely fine because it's about giving players everything and diversify their gameplay. And I've seen many games trying to forcefully diversify a player's gameplay so that they don't get bored and quit the game. And as you might think, as you might get bored of only slapping mobs and doing slayer bosses repeatedly, this might be the reason why Hypixel is trying to force all aspects of the game at the player. Hence, they are indirectly trying to save the player from getting bored. But still, this is my personal opinion, and I don't like dungeons. So yeah, I really demand some new paths, and or only one new path which makes it possible to progress without doing dungeons. And yeah, there might be some people who disagree, there might be some people who agree to me on this topic. You may it's upon your opinion how you see this topic, but some people, those less people who agree to me on this topic, should help me get this video viral and helps me get noticed by Simon so that he can apply some changes I suggested in the video. Thanks a lot for watching, and go click on the video on the right of your screen for some money making. Go click on the video on the left of the screen, which YouTube thinks you like. So see if you like it or not. I'll meet you in the next one. Bye bye.